Welcome back. So, I figured I'd take a second to talk about just kind of stamps in general. What I've got here is one big old bag of eBay stamps, which I've already sorted massive handfuls of, and I still have a whole bunch left. Now, one thing that I want to discuss after I have popped out probably 15,000 at this point in stamp stuff. All kinds of stuff. Stamps, supplies, books, albums, catalogs, blah, blah, blah. So, oh, nice, a hair. So I have decided, after amassing a pretty large collection, to be modest, it's big, I have a lot of stamps. I'm not going to buy any more stuff like this. And here is a great example of why. This first stamp, look at the condition of this. It's crinkled, it's bent. Cool air stamp from Chile used. Unfortunately, it is kind of garbage because of the condition. And part of the condition is due to this bag. There's just some ways that are wrong for stamp storage, and I can attest after enough experience now that storing them in a big bag like this is definitely wrong. They're just not cared for. I would not recommend this, buying this kind of stuff. I mean, to each their own, I'd have to look it up and figure out how much I paid for this collection, but this kind of stuff, this is what's wrong with it. I mean, look at that. TED Talk stamps, that guy would just throw this crap in the garbage. Same for this stamp. It is obliterated. I mean, it's crinkled to hell, it's bent, fucked up. It's just not nice. Not in good shape. Now, of course, a majority of this stuff is probably in okay shape, but that's my major gripe with these big eBay bags. Now, you can come across some pretty cool stuff, and there is all kinds of stuff like in this bag. These are actually kind of nice. 50 centers. Also, there you go. There's a good example too. Even though this looks nice, some ding dong wrote on the back of it. So, that's just a crappy thing to do. As a stamp collector, you wouldn't really want to do that to your stamps. TED Talk stamps, he also talks about that. He hates that. I agree. It is pretty lazy, and although it's nice that the stamp is identified and has this number on it always because you wrote it on it, you definitely devalue stuff when you write on it. And if you were a true stamp collector, you wouldn't do that. So I think that's just, some dealers that are cutting corners, taking shortcuts, and that makes it easier for them. But ultimately, as a stamp collector, all my stamps have shit written on the back, and that's not cool, Okay, so besides them being damaged, potentially, being stored this way, another side of this stuff is, it's a lot of work when it's all mixed up like this. I mean, most things that I had bought were like this. Just a big old accumulation, a big massive mixture of randomness, that you go through, and that is fun. I do enjoy it. It's almost therapeutic going through all these and taking a look at them, seeing what they're about, what country, all that. It does have, its place, sorting all this stuff. It's something to do, and it's part of the hobby, and it's fun. But at the same time, when you're going to buy... another hair. Gross. Apparently, you can get hairs, too, which is annoying. Definitely got plenty of hairs. Sometimes I'm pretty sure they're animal hairs, too. Dog hair. But so besides them being potentially damaged, it's a lot of work sorting all this stuff out. I mean, just look at this one bag. I mean, the sheer amount of stamps to go through, it's a lot. I mean, this is a ridiculous amount of stamps to sit down and just go through this. I don't even know if I could sort all this in a weekend. I mean, this is a lot of stamps. It just keeps going and going, you know. So, like I said, I'd have to see what I paid for this. This is actually a pretty decent mixture of stuff, I gotta say. I've seen a lot worse. But nonetheless, when you buy things like this, you're simply asking for a shite ton of work. And to sort through all this is an awful lot of work. It's going to take hours on end, especially if I wanted to catalog this stuff. So, interesting. Nice little block of stamps here. So that's my only real gripe, is you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, here I am with the whole stack of these kitty cat stamps. They're probably CTOs. They look like it. I don't know. There's no gum. But they sure are canceled like a CTO. Anyways. So if you're down for, you know, all this sorting and stuff, then buy these kinds of things. And if you're not, then don't. Because otherwise you're literally just spending your money on a big bag of random, probably screwed up stuff that it's just going to take forever for me to sort all this. This is, if you can read, 2 of 2. I have a whole nother bag of this stuff. And unless I actually have the desire, you know, like the fire in my belly to go through all these, they're just going to sit in this bag. And it's kind of unhealthy for them. So, yeah, I could have bought a, let's say, already catalog, at least already identified, you know, collection. There's plenty of them. Not all of them are just these random accumulation of stuff. The majority of these aren't worth jack, you know, like they're probably like 20 to 25 cents a stamp, most of them by far. And I'm sure that there are probably some worthwhile stamps in here. It's maybe even some high values. But it's going to be a long time until I can figure that out. Because it's just one big giant task, this thing. So, I guess my main point after all that is decide, you know, what you want before you buy it. What kind of stuff are you after? Are you after the thrill of the hunt? Do you enjoy the mystery of what, you know, you've got, and you like to sort through this kind of stuff and see you know, the surprise of what you get? Or do you want to already just buy stamps that are organized and cataloged formerly in an album already, you know, stored better, properly cared for, all that? At this point, after having popped so much money, I can definitely say I'm done. I'm done buying this stuff. I will not buy another bag of this kind of stuff, because I already have several bags of this, and having acquired all that, yeah, I mean, geez, I can just think about how many, probably hundreds of hours I have worth of random stamps to organize and catalog. And so basically when I buy this stuff now, I just consider it me purchasing a huge task. Like I said, there might be good stuff in here, but how much time and effort do I really need to spend in my life sorting used stamps? That's where I'm at. I'm just done with big giant bags of stuff. So I figured that I'd share my thoughts. I know this video kind of ran long, but you know, if you're a young stamp collector out there and you're just getting going, this is actually not the worst thing. Going through bags like this, without question, helps me determine, or helps me learn. I mean, every single one of these I have to figure out what country they are and what year and the Scott number and all that. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stamps. There's millions upon millions of stamps released in history in the world of all these different countries, and going through these bags, you'll learn. There's no doubt. I mean, it's not the worst way to get going, this kind of stuff. Plus, it's cheaper, considering that none of it's organized or cataloged or anything. It's all just accumulated. So, yeah, for a new guy, hey, not the worst thing ever, you know? But yeah, as I've grown, I mean, I've been doing this half a year now, very consistently, almost religiously doing this stamp stuff, and those are my thoughts. Yeah, I've spent enough money. I'm done with these. I want to buy things that are organized and stored and cared for correctly. And, you know, not to say these are bad. Like I said, they have merit in certain ways. But, yeah, it's just not worth it to me anymore. And especially eBay stuff, you never know for real what you're going to get. Unless you buy from a reputable guy, which I try to do, of course, you still don't know for sure. You know, but yeah, anyway, I'm kind of rambling on, but this is something that I've learned is that, yeah, you're asking for a lot of work buying this kind of stuff. So think about that. All right, guys, bye-bye.